We're going to talk about some of the basics of the left hand. Now, most of these videos that I'm talking about here, I'm talking as if you're a right-hand player. There's enough left-handed players who will still play a right-hand guitar. If you think about it this way, if you go watch the violins in the symphony, they all play the same way. Now, I'm not saying if you're left-handed that you shouldn't consider playing a left-handed guitar, but for the sake of these videos, these are all going to be demonstrated right-hand playing. So we're going to talk about your left hand or your fretting hand here. And there's a couple of basic things that you need to know about your left hand. The first one is just how we call the left hand fingers. So this finger here, one finger, middle finger, two finger, ring finger, three finger, and your pinky, the four finger, okay? The thumb's always going to be behind the neck of the guitar most of the time. So we don't necessarily give that a finger number. If you see it in some chords where you're reaching across the top, they might call it T or notate it with a T just to indicate that you're using your thumb. But for the basics of where we're at right now, one finger, index finger, two finger, middle finger, three finger, ring finger, four finger, pinky. When we talk about playing a note on the guitar, what I'm going to do here is just kind of take my one finger and hold down on a string. So I'm going to hold down on the second string. If you recall, that's the B string. And I'm going to go somewhere comfortable, kind of up to the fifth fret. So each one of these bars here is a fret, and I just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now when I play a fret or a fret number like that, I'm not pressing on top of the fret. What I'm actually trying to do is to get the string to ring from the top of the fret all the way back to the bridge. And you do that by holding down right behind the fret. Now, it will work if you're far away from the fret, but the physics, the mechanics of it make it easier that the closer you are to the fret, the less pressure it takes on your left hand. That's a good thing. If you're playing lots of notes especially, you want your left hand to stay relaxed the whole time as much as possible. So you want to be as close to as possible to the fret without being on top of it. We're going to do some close-ups of that here with the left hand so you can see exactly how the hand's coming to the neck of the guitar. And for the sake of just doing it in a comfortable place, I'm going to do all of these on the second string, the B string, and I'm going to do it in the fifth position, which means my first finger is going to be at the fifth fret. So my first finger at the fifth fret, second finger at the sixth fret, third finger at the seventh fret, fourth finger at the eighth fret. We're just going to talk about our basic left hand position. So here we're looking at the first half of the neck of the guitar. First fret, second fret, third fret. Notice it has these position markers. Most guitars will have something at the third fret, the fifth fret, the seventh fret, so on and so forth. Now, I just want to be clear. When I'm playing, this is how my hand looks, okay? So for the purpose of this video though, I might move my fingers out of the way from time to time just so you have a clearer shot of what I'm trying to show you. If I play this way, the fingers will just block what I'm trying to show, but normally they're in this position ready to play. So I'm going to start with my first finger here and start by bringing it to the second string. Okay, now I don't really want to go down to the first fret, but just want to show you that I'm at the second string and I'm going to go up to the fifth fret. So first, second, third, fourth, fifth. And it might look, like I'm almost on top of the fret. Here's on top of the fret. I'm not on top of the fret when I play. I'm just right behind it. So you can see the fret the whole way through. And that way when I apply pressure, you see that string, it's going down, it's hitting the top of that fret, and it's going to ring very clearly. Now, you'll get different sounds. If you're on top of the fret, you'll still get a little bit of a sound. Let me play it here. See, I still get sound. It's just a little bit muffled versus if I play here. Now, I'll still get sound if I play way back here. But I have to push a lot harder to get a cleaner sound. So the easiest place to play, where it takes the least amount of pressure, is right behind the fret, as close as you can get without being on top of it, okay? Now one other thing here too, is just with where my thumb's at. I'm gonna go ahead and switch around so you can see how it looks from behind. So from behind the neck of the guitar here, when I bring my hand to the guitar, my thumb's placing kind of right in the center of the neck. It's not way over the top here, it's not too far on the low side, just pretty much centered, so that when I play, it supports the center of my hand. So if I were to take away the neck of the guitar, turn my hand this way, you can see that the thumb is pretty much in line with the second finger. So I'm just taking that shape, bringing it to the center of the guitar, and using that to support the fingers. And the thumb isn't pressing to hold down the note, it's just there to support. How I'm really playing a note is from the weight, and I'll kind of show that from the front now. So when I'm pressing a note here from the front, it looks like I might be pinching between my thumb and the finger, and that's not quite the case. My thumb's just behind the neck of the guitar. My fingers coming to the fret. I'm going to move these fingers out of the way just so you can see. And then I'm relaxing into the string. If you could just imagine that your finger was made out of lead or something along those lines. All that weight, all that pressure would just kind of fall into the string. And you could hold down the note without your thumb even pressing. In fact, try that once. Take your thumb off and just use the weight to fall into the neck of the guitar. Kind of see I'm pulling back on the guitar when I do that. So what we're practicing here, and you'll see that my hand makes this look pretty normal, pretty natural right now, is just bringing each finger behind one fret. So I'm going to start with my first finger and just get that behind. I'm going to keep these out of the way so you can see. Behind the first fret. Then I'm going to take my second finger, bring it to the second fret, sixth fret. I'm going to take my third finger, bring it to the 7th fret, and my fourth finger, bring it to the 8th fret. When I do this, you see I get this nice spacing in between my fingers here. They're not squeezed together like this. My fingers are actually very curved around this way as well. I'm going to rotate this way just so you can see that. So they have a nice curve to them. All the fingers are right behind the frets. And I'm just practicing how to place one at a time. So my first finger, second finger, third finger, fourth finger. I'm kind of playing them lightly in the background. You know, you can pluck them, you don't have to. We'll talk about how to do this with the right hand. But all I want to show you in this video is just the basics of that. The finger goes right behind the fret, and one finger kind of covers each fret, starting from the 5th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret. And my thumb not reaching over the top, but just kind of centered. And then if you look overall when I do this, my wrist is actually pretty straight. It's not bent this way. It's not way out like this. It's actually just coming to the guitar very natural, very straight. You can watch that, you know, as we go through the whole exercise. For the most part, my wrist isn't doing anything funny. So if you're playing and your wrist seems to be like popping way out, it's okay. It happens to a lot of students as they first try this. What you just want to keep doing is experimenting around, saying, okay, how can I keep the wrist straight and bring the hand naturally to the guitar, and just space the fingers appropriately. In some of the far out shots, be sure to watch this in the left hand as well. A lot of this will have to do with your sitting position or your standing position, in which case, review the sitting and standing position videos.